It's time now for a look at the latest in local news. In the news, former District Attorney Jackie Johnson's arraignment, which was scheduled for this Thursday in Glenn County at the courthouse, has been postponed once again. No date has been set as of today. Already 14 months and counting since she was indicted by a Glenn County grand jury on 2 counts, one violation of oath of office and the other willful obstruction of law enforcement officers, all dealing with her handling of the shooting death of Ahmaud Arbery. All judges in this circuit have recused themselves from the case. It's being handled by a Superior Court judge out of Ogeechee County, Court Judge John Turner. Still, no one's been able to state why it's taking over 14 months for an arraignment date to be set up. At the arraignment, the judge is expected to consider motions by Johnson's attorney asking that the charges be dismissed. Johnson's attorney contends that there is simply no evidence that Johnson told police on the day of the Ahmaud Arbery shooting not to arrest anyone. That's the allegation. As they state, Johnson told officers not to arrest Greg McMichael because he once worked in the DA's office. DA Johnson recused herself from the Ahmaud Arbery case, called DA George Barnhill from the Waycross Judicial Circuit, and asked him to take over the case, which he did, but eventually recused himself, but not before first writing a highly controversial letter in which he ruled the shooting death of Ahmaud Arbery was justified in self-defense. Barnhill, however, faces no charges. Once again, the sole purpose of the arraignment is to simply enter a plea of guilty or not guilty, set a court date. It's been 14 months and counting. Still no arraignment date for the former district attorney. Jackie Johnson served at Brunswick Judicial Circuit for over 10 years before being defeated by Keith Higgins in the 2020 election. Once again, the arraignment date was scheduled for tomorrow in Glenn County, but once again, it's been postponed. No date, again, has been reset for the arraignment. As soon as we get one, we'll have it here on our local news. Chamber of Commerce gearing up for their big annual Eggs and Issues breakfast. It's set for January 5th at Coastal Pines Technical College, the time from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Our local representatives will be on hand giving a preview of what they expect will take place in Atlanta during the legislative session in 2023. On hand will be State Representatives Stephen Meeks and our new Representative Buddy DeLoach, also Senator Blake Tillery on hand. The event, again, set for January the 5th. Tickets are available from the Chamber. Chamber members $25, non-members $35. Tickets now available. Simply call or stop by the Chamber of Commerce and the number 427-2028 in the annual Eggs and Issues breakfast, again set for AT College, January 5th from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. We'll be back with more news after this word from our sponsor, other commercial messages, so please stay tuned. In other news, this past Friday, the U.S. House in Washington, D.C. passed a $1.7 trillion federal spending plan that will fund the government through September, sending the bill to President Joe Biden to sign into law. Package includes earmarks including hundreds of millions of dollars in projects requested by Georgia lawmakers, including 1st District Congressman Buddy Carter and Representative Barry Loudermilk, the only 2 Georgia Republicans who submitted community project requests. All 6 House Democrats from Georgia also have earmarks in the package. Carter says it was important to have a voice in the determining how the taxpayer dollars are spent in this district. He says, quote, "No one in Washington, D.C. knows the 1st District like I do. I'm the representative of the people of my district, so when it comes to projects, I want to have an input in where the funding is going into which projects," end quote. Once again, hundreds of millions of dollars in the federal package for the state of Georgia. Wayne County school system currently on Christmas holiday break, and when schools return to session, the plan is still to have everyone back under one roof at the new James E. Bacon Elementary School. Since the beginning of the school year, teachers and students have been in 3 different locations, but the school system keeping their fingers crossed that when the holidays are over and school begins, everyone will be back in the main building. That's been the plans for months, and nothing's changed as they continue to work on the building daily. 2 new school board members will be on the board come January when the board meets. Again, both Tina Mosley and Todd Wise will join current members Sharon Daniel, Joe McPipkin, and Bruce Harris, as Ray Davidson opted not to seek another term. Todd Wise won his election uncontested, while Tina Mosley defeated Chairman Nick Ellis and will be the new board member in that district. County commissioners will have a new board in January. Their first meeting is set for January the 11th. That's a Wednesday. That meeting will take place at the County Commissioners meeting room at 6 p.m. Again, they'll no longer be meeting in courtroom C. New council will consist of returning commissioners James Booth Thomas and Kevin McCrary, along with newly elected commissioners Tim Hopkins, Mike Gordon, and Jamie Hickox. Once again, the county's first meeting again set for Wednesday, January 11th at 6 p.m. in the County Commissioners meeting room. We'll be back with some final news notes after this word from our sponsor, the commercial messages, so please stay tuned. Final notes in news, local law enforcement and the Georgia State Patrol gearing up for this upcoming New Year's weekend as they're warning all motorists that they'll be out in full force looking to crack down on those that violate the law. They encourage everyone to slow down, buckle up, and please do not drink and drive. AAA estimating that 112 million people will be traveling at least 50 miles or more over the holiday. Last New Year's holiday, 254 people arrested in the state of Georgia for driving under the influence, and they ask that you make it a happy New Year, drive sober, and obey all traffic laws. Travel by air has been a nightmare for many who are seeing flights canceled and many having a hard time locating their luggage. If you're traveling by air over the holidays, you might want to check with your airline and make certain your flight hasn't been delayed or canceled. Many local stores offering great buys on Christmas items were not sold by Christmas Day. Merchants looking to unload merchandise before the end of the year, and many Christmas items have been slashed as much as 50%. Many take advantage and start their next year's Christmas shopping early. Once again, many of the local merchants having holiday sales up through the first of the year. You can shop till you drop. Again, we wish everyone out there a very happy New Year. That's going to do it for the latest in local news. Sports comes your way in a few minutes. Bob Morgan, saying have a great day.